Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Tool, and I'm going to go into a little more detail on this Klein Impact 11-in-1 ratchet and how it interfaces with some of the tools in these mod boxes, in particular one of them. Now, December of 2021, I did a video about this Klein tool set that I got, this bit set, and I wanted to crack open an iPhone, and the one bit that I needed in here didn't work, and I made a video about it, and I was going to get a replacement. Anyway, that replacement just arrived. There it is. Oddly, I'll show you the difference here. This is the original one, and it was this Penelope 2 that I needed in order to crack open the iPhone. And this one here, it just spun. It was the wrong size. But here is the new one, and the new one works just fine. Beautiful. But let's take a closer look at them. First of all, when I line them up and you look at the labels on there, both of them say KT for Klein Tools P2. However, if you look at them close, they are different sizes, and that is most apparent up here. You can see one is quite a bit larger than the other. But if I grab the P5 and line that up, you can see the P5 here is much bigger than this thing, which I guess could be a P3 or P4. Is there such a thing? This is the P2 that I needed. Anyway, I'm all happy. Klein and I are best friends again. So I am going to now share some of the other things from Klein. Now, this is the new ratcheting driver, and I'm going to actually do the back drag test. But first of all, they have really taken it up a notch. This is a very deep handle with a ratcheting mechanism. And now Klein has played around with some of the ratchets. This one is one of their current iterations, and I really like this. It's got the bit holders in the back. Works great, low back drag. This was an earlier one. This actually has, flip around stuff inside it. We'll get to that with this. But not the greatest ratcheting mechanism, I don't think. A little harder to use, clunky, heavy, large. This one was the heavy-duty one. I could see where it comes into play, but I actually have one of these out in my garage that I'm grabbing all the time, and it is really a big tool, but they're known for making some of these just gigantic. Look at the size of this thing. I mean, that's a 9/16 up in front, this huge barrel. It looks like one of those, I don't know, objects that you might get from a tool company for some other use. Kind of as a promotion. It's so big. But look at this. Even more different ones, different sizes, different ways of flipping them around. Well, here we are again, except I don't know if this has much competition, if any. And let me show you why. Simple design. First of all, that deepness right there is important. We'll get to that. But if I pop these apart, it's got this central core, and then you build off of it with these, which means you can obviously now leverage any other bit driver well, here's the impact. I can throw these on a 1/4-inch impact driver and get the benefit there. And then, of course, there are different ways you can flip these around. So I've got 3/8, I've got 5/16, and then these are all 1/4-inch drives. Plus, well, what could I do with that? I don't know. How about leverage a whole bunch of other stuff? That's where we're going. So in these mod boxes, I did the video on this one already. This is actually a great set all the way around. Absolutely love it. This one here, I'll get to. This is where we're going, and this is another one for the future. So you can see there is some significant distance to cover to go through all of these. So let's dive into this one in relation to this. First of all, there are adapters in a lot of these that fit this. So all of a sudden, I now can leverage every one of these sockets in my driver. And they're a pass-through. And what that pass-through allows, throw a bigger one on here, like this 9/16, is I can take, if I've got a longer bolt, look at that, how far into this thing this went. And there's plenty more room where that came from. So that's one of the advantages by using this pass-through system. Of course, I can also throw it on a ratchet, and this is a reversible ratchet. I don't have to flip it back and forth over. So I've got the leverage there. I can throw it on another bit driver here, or impact. So suddenly, now I've got the leverage of all of that. And of course, there's a 1/4 inch bit holder here, so now I can leverage any of those. And then if I wanted to go back up to this set for some reason, I could leverage my 1/4 inch to 3.5 millimeter, and now I can go as far as I want. I mean, you can see that all of these have been designed with intense compatibility in mind. And that intense compatibility is really, I think, where Klein is going. So you can not only use a tool individually, but you can also then start using the tool across other sets of tools. So depending on how deep you want to go with that idea, this is great. This is brilliant. The more I use this, the more I realize, it's new territory. Obviously, pass-through isn't new. Obviously, having this kind of it's a proprietary design is not new for putting together couplers, putting together, pass-through sockets, pass-through ratchets. Pop that in there. There we go. It's just amazing where they're headed, simply because you aren't, well, here's kind of the way I ended up looking at it. We were talking about boxes earlier, just mod boxes. And mod boxes, as I've done in my other videos, talked about, the pack-out system, it's kind of once you buy that second piece of a system that you are now in the system. You can go buy a Milwaukee pack-out. That doesn't mean you're in the pack-out system. It means you have one toolbox that's a pack-out. You could have one DeWalt or one Rigid or whoever. Well, once you start getting more, when I'm going to start that with the second box you get, or the second accessory, now you're in the system because now you're connecting them. You're using it. Well, Klein is doubling up here because not only are they making a tool system that you can buy into, but you're getting a box system to hold it that you can buy into. So it's almost twice the reason to go down this road, which I'm finding kind of fascinating, because you can also start to see what the future might hold, especially as this thing gets deeper and you start using it more across different use cases. But let's go ahead and test the back drag on this. All I'm going to do is drop a 1/4 inch driver into here, and then that will allow me to connect it up. I can actually use this one as the 1/4 inch driver. Let me get my elaborate tool testing platform set up. Oh, here it is. Nice and convenient. So again, I'm just hooking up a 1/4 inch, and I'm going to wind this and watch what happens. But on this one, I do notice there is a difference a little bit just by feel, both loosening and tightening. So first one I'm going to do is in this direction, which would be the loosening back drag. So I drop that in. So what we're seeing is a little bit of bumpage from about 150 to 250. That's where it's bouncing around. Now I'm going to reverse this. How do you reverse it? Oh, I don't have to take it off. I just have to reverse this thing. I just wind it the other direction. And now reverse this. Make sure it's going. Okay. Look at this one. Get this loosened up here. This is hovering at around 100 to 200, so it's a little bit smoother. So that's actually pretty low. I mean, the ones that I consider not that great are about 700 or higher. Those are noticeable back drags. This thing's very smooth. It does have the opposite direction. I'll show you that here. If I turn this way, now it cranks, it tightens going that way. If I turn it that way, now it tightens the opposite. So it's the opposite of snap-on, and the opposite of like Linus Tech Tip screwdriver. There are reasons for both. In general, I just find it a little nicer to be able to click it in the direction, and I'm also used to the snap-on ones. But anyway, there's some of the snap-on, some of the Klein MODBox stuff. In playing around, I did notice something, okay? Something else. I have got 3 14mm sockets here, 3 snap-ons. I've got a shallow, a semi-deep, and a deep. And I've got some bolts, and these are part of my overlanding bolt kit. I've got a whole bunch of them here, various repairs, but most of these are fractional. So if I go in here, I guess I must have it out. Where is my... (7/16) Where is my 9/16? How did I lose it? Right here, right when I need it. Here it is. Found it. All's well. Okay, so here's my 9/16. That's what would drive this. So I'm thinking about my bolt kit and having, the most use. Now, this is a 14mm, and a 14 doesn't fit. See that? I'm trying to wedge that in. Doesn't fit. Or does it? Here's a 14. Snap-on. Fits pretty snug, actually, but it's in there. Definitely usable. That would be a great fit. But check this out. Here's a snap-on 14. Drops right in. Can't pass through, though. Ran out of room. But look at that. I can easily drive that, yet it doesn't fit into this one. So Snap-on's got a bit of variability here. Not sure what's up. If you know, let me know. But the reason I'm interested in this, a lot of times I've got SAE bolts as backups that I want to use for fabrication and overlanding, building stuff, holding things together, whatever it is. So I'm actually going to be using these kits simply because they've got so much opportunity across the tools. So it'll allow me to streamline my kits again. So I'm thrilled about that. But anyway, there it is. The Impact 11-in-1 ratchet and this MODBox bit set, ratchet, and these pass-throughs with this larger version of the ratchet. Remember the smaller one here? Starting to see a theme. Right there. So obviously, let's go to this guy. Whoops, this one here. Guess where we're headed? Why not? Guess steroids. That's what's for breakfast. Anyway, we'll get there. And with that, Doc out.